Welcome to the Forward Podcast. Here's my wife tonight as we get going and continue addressing the subject of marriage.
Hello, everyone.
And
thanks for tuning in this week.
Yeah, it's awesome once again, Kara, to talk about a subject that we both are super passionate about.
Yes, especially right now.
Yeah, well, we say that, yes, right now, but I
Yeah.
feel like over the last several years, we have definitely grown in wanting to assist and or help people
Yeah.
in marriages. And it every time we like stray or let's navigate away from it, whether it be in ministry
hmm
or us personally, and or on the Forward Podcast, God always directs us back to this subject.
Yeah, I think right now in our personal lives, marriage is just a hot topic because, and we'll walk through this a little bit in tonight's episode, but we're in the middle of marriage. Like we're not young marrieds anymore. We've been in this 20 years now in May. But then we're not like 45 years in, right? We're in the middle of marriage, middle of life, middle of marriage. And so it's just something like we're constantly trying to adjust and make better and keep up. But at the same time, culturally, we've kind of hit a spot where marriages seem to be really rough right now. It just seems like culturally it's, not maybe trending towards marriage. People are living together or just not getting married at all. And then when they do get married, the divorce rate is super high. So I think it's just on our minds a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like that is around us, or do you see this on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok that you're on? Do you feel like this is a topic that's hitting everywhere, or do you feel like we're just kind of centered in on this?
I think it's definitely like nationwide. I think it's an American thing right now. I don't know about other countries. I mean, I have no idea. I live here.
I'm talking about not our country, not countries, but just like across the U.S.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a part of our. I can't talk.
Oh my.
I feel like it's a part of our American culture. Definitely not just our circles. Yeah, not just like Baptist or Christian circles. I think marriage is just kind of struggling overall.
It really is.
Yeah.
Which we have always known that Satan is going to continually attack the home. He could break up the home. Good night. He has major victories across the board. And so for decades and decades, there has been preaching and teaching on the home, hitting the home, making sure the home is strong. And yet in 2026 society, it's almost like we've let our guard down in some areas. And in some ways, like, oh, well, we're going to be fine, or we don't believe in this, or we do believe in this, so we'll be okay. And it's become very stagnant.
Yeah.
And in some ways, honestly, it's a big word, but failing.
Yeah.
Like just flat out failing. And so we begin to address that last week. We changed our entire podcast and we're like, no, let's talk about it. Let's hit it with young marrieds. And now we kind of want to roll into marriage in the middle and talking about we've hit those first 5 years. Now we move from years 6 to 19. It's those in between. You're not having babies anymore. Kids aren't in diapers. Like you're moving to those kids that are 8, 9. Maybe you didn't have kids. You're in your mid 30s, heading into your 40s. Like that age, there's still a lot of dangers that can creep up.
For sure.
And so what do we want to talk about first? How do we hit this subject? What do we need to include in our marriages?
From our perspective and, using obviously our life experience, I think something that's really hit home with us lately is how intentional we have to be about one another. You do kind of get in the middle of life and consequently the middle of marriage. And it's shocking how many things are pulling at us.
Yeah.
Right? Like the kids being in sports, the kids' school, even if you're not in ministry, being a part of a church community, like some obligations, and if you do any volunteer work there, both of your careers separately or together, like all of these things pull at you. And that's to say nothing of if you have a hobby or a sport yourself or
adding it all.
Yeah, I mean, when we add up as Americans in this world, what we're obligated to and what we obligate ourselves to, it really becomes this amazing list of things that you have to get done each week.
Yeah.
And of course, that doesn't even include your normal like chores and maintenance of your home and property and things like that. So it's definitely vital to keep that intentionality in your relationship. But it is the whole way through. I'm sure it's even that way when you're older. But right now, I feel it. I feel it a lot more. Like we definitely need to practice intentionality. Whereas, do you remember being young married and like all we had to do the whole day was work? So, we got off, I think you got finished with work at 3 and I worked at the hospital from 6 to 3. Yeah. And sometimes we would meet up on the highway driving home.
3 o'clock.
And we would get home and we had the whole night. Like we would stay up till, 10, Forever. 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it was like 7 hours you got before you even got in bed. It was crazy.
With nothing to do.
We had nothing to do.
So
it was like we might walk over to the church and like practice some music for Sunday or go have dinner with my parents. Or we would literally like sit and play games for hours.
Aww.
I know.
Man, now I wish we could go back.
I know.
Those were the
There
days.
was just nothing expected of us. That's all we had on the calendar was like, okay, we have to work tomorrow. And we hated that. We were like, oh man, we got to work 8 hours. Like,
oh, poor us.
I know. But the intentionality wasn't super specific back then. Like we were together. We got home. We did everything together. And it just kind of was natural. Now, we literally have to look at each other's calendars daily. What do you have this evening? Not even this evening. What do you have the 2 hours after you get home from work? Are we going to see each other? It's just crazy. And so I do think being in the middle requires a lot more intentionality. Yeah. It's thinking about one another. It's sending a sweet text. It's sending, a lot of times you'll send me an encouraging text. You'll shoot me a Bible verse or, just a quick sentence like, hey, you're going to crush it today, praying for you. And just that intention of like thinking about one another throughout the day, bringing someone their favorite drink. I know a lot of times I'll leave for work after you're already there and I'll say, hey, I'm dropping by to get a Starbucks. Can I drop you off anything on my way out? Because I passed the church on my way to work. And so even if you don't say yes, like just knowing someone thought of you, those intentionalities are super important.
Yeah. I think we're speaking on that subject. There's several things we ought to be intentional on. And for me, being a spiritual leader, of course, I'm going to go straight to being intentional in your spiritual life. Right. Because you've been married now. So you're in this thing 10 years. Like you've got your 10-year end. You're in it. When you're young married, you're cultivating, you're navigating all these crazy babies and new jobs and just getting to know each other and sharing a house and a room and like all that together for the first time. Now you're in it and it's like old news. It's old hat. So I feel like oftentimes when we get into this place that we become very stagnant, we become lackadaisical, apathetic. We've slowed down. And oftentimes in our spiritual life, this is the stage that we do that. Yeah. We really don't need to go to every service at church. I've read the Bible through in a year. I don't need to really be in the Word of God as much as I used to. Like it's almost, I feel I'm fine where I'm at. I'm not in major trouble where, it's not, I'm headed towards shipwrecked. I'm not in major sin. But oftentimes this is where Satan gets a foot in the door, is where we just let off. And so it's being very intentional in that I have to still grow. I don't want to become stagnant. Stationary is not a direction. We have to grow. We want to move forward. And this is one of those stages for sure that if we're not careful as men, we can really become very lazy in our spiritual growth. Right. I have a lot of friends that were in our 40s and you just don't see that zeal and that fire that we once had for preaching, for teaching, for ministry, for our marriages. When you're first married, you're always talking about, the craziness and the love and this took place. And then when you're young in ministry, I have my own office and we did this, we're growing, we've got 30 new teenagers, blah, blah. Then you get 10 years in. It's not that it's bad, but just the fire is gone. Yeah. And I really believe in our marriages, we have to be very intentional in keeping up that spiritual walk with the Lord.
Yeah. That kind of leads into our next point, which is staying focused in, like intentionality with each other, but then focused on just your life in general. It's very easy to get, all of a sudden you wake up, and this has happened to me. You wake up in your middle age, you wake up and you're 38 and we've got 5 kids and we've got a lot that we're responsible for.
Yeah.
You've got a mortgage, you've got 2 car payments, 2 cars you're trying to pay off, you got a minivan, you've got a bunch of kids, you've got dinner every night and preaching every week, and you wake up and you're like, I feel like a slave to this life that I've created. We've all been there. And I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit we've both had those moments. You have to stay focused in. You have to understand. I remember so many older moms telling me it doesn't last forever, because I think it's the routine that gets you. It's like, I do the same thing every day and it just keeps getting harder. Right? Because training kids is not for the weak. And being married successfully is sometimes, it can be difficult or it can be a challenge. And you just wake up one day and you're like, I can't breathe anymore. Like this is hard. Everything's really hard. But the older people are right. It is a stage. It is over a lot faster than you dream. And the benefits and the payoff is huge. You have to stay focused in. You have to stay focused in, and that it's just like working out or eating well. The benefits are coming, but it doesn't happen overnight. And it takes that time and it takes that effort. It takes the training of the kids. It takes the hurried date nights and the, passion when you have to manufacture it and work it up. It takes the trips to the altar when you're like, this is not getting answered. You just keep going. It takes attending church when no one's had a nap and you're tired and you're going to have to probably get called out to the nursery, but you still go. Like, these are the times when you focus in. You just know the payoff is coming. The reward is there. You got to stick with it.
Right. But what about somebody that says, because I'm listening to this, I'm automatically thinking, I used to be a naysayer in this area too. Like, focus in, great. It sounds good, but Carrie, I've been doing this for a long time and routine's killing me and I'm bored to death. I'm bored to death with life. This is where a lot of bad things happen.
Yeah.
This is where affairs take place.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of people quit their jobs way prematurely. They lose out on life because it's like, I'm at this place where it's like, yeah, focus in, sounds great, but I can't do this. Like, how many times have we heard, I can't do this another day? Like, I cannot work this job. I cannot be married to him. I do not want to raise, I cannot change another diaper. What about that person that seriously is listening to 4 podcasts? They're at their wit's end. Like, Carrie, you got to help me. I cannot do this anymore. When you're on our side, we've been through it. You look and you're like, well, you have to. Like, you gotta, you just got to. Like, I'm trying to think of, not pull yourself up with your bootstraps. But anyways, you just have to. But then I have been there where I'm like, okay, that sounds great, but how? So help the mom, help the dad that really is like, I'm 35. I hate this job.
Yeah.
I've been here for 10 years. I cannot, when I pull in the parking lot, I'm physically sick. I'm raising another 3-year-old. And if I have to put up with these fits and discipline and another diaper, like, you've been there. You were bringing 5 kids in church by yourself. 3 of them are in diapers. 5 of them are in car seats or booster seats.
2 are nursing.
You've been there. So how did you get through? What's some tips or some help?
Some practical helps for me is lower your threshold for what brings you joy.
That's
lower
good.
your standards for how things have to be. Okay. You can't be a perfectionist in this stage of life. Like, done is better than perfect. That phrase got me through a lot of years. Done is better than perfect. It is still getting me through. Good. If you were to view my laundry room at this very moment, is the laundry done? Yes.
Just kidding.
Is it perfectly folded in the drawers? No. The kids will just get it out of the basket, wrinkled and all. Done is better than perfect. Lower your standards for perfection. You can't have a bunch of kids and pull into church and everyone looks perfect and acts perfect and they're fed and healthy and well. You might hit that a couple times a year, but are your kids in church? If the answer is yes, good for you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need. I mean, how many times I went through the Wendy's drive-thru and fed my kids chicken nuggets and apple slices. Like, we were at church, they were fed, and we were there and we were happy. And then there were some Wednesdays I was like, I can't do it. It's not working. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And we stayed home and you supported me in that because we had so many babies. Like,
I think people need to hear this though. What y'all are getting at the Ford podcast, this is so priceless. Lower your standard for perfect.
Yes.
Like that is, you heard it right here from Carrie Shepard. That would help. That would have helped me tremendously. Growing up in an environment where everyone had to be perfect.
Yeah.
Your marriage had to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone, you had to love your job. That's so great. How are you? Oh my word, life is so perfect. It was a very fake environment at times for a lot of families because it was just this religious movement that we had to hide everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to hear this, that it is okay not to be a Ken and a Barbie and a perfect world and everything's wonderful and great. You struggle and you ought to be able to be real with yourself that there are those days we live in this TikTok world, Care, where we're all seeing everyone who's in their 30s and it's in my algorithm right now because I looked up kettlebells. And everything is like dudes who are in their 40s and totally fit and they're exercise and they're tan and they got 6 packs and like they're amazing. But there's definitely days, there's no doubt, even those guys cheat and they have cheesecake and they have days they don't work out. Like all we see is the perfect environment and the perfect sculpting and the great schedule. But everybody has bad days. Everybody has off days. And I think if we can not lower the standard to where you live below par every day or subpar every day, but there are the days where you can just be you. I think we ought to be okay with that. One way that kind of lead into this for our kids, oftentimes, we have seen the parents that have put such stress on kids to have every project and every homework assignment and every test, and you have to get A's, and the pressure on the kids to be something maybe that they actually are not, it destroys families.
Yeah.
And to where we've kind of come to this place where it's like, it's okay. You get a B. Was it the best you could do?
Yeah. Did you try?
Then we are okay with a B and sometimes a C. That's okay. Are we passing the class? Are we doing our best? Are we giving our all? And that's what we ought to be okay with.
And also, are you having fun learning? Like, don't even get me started. This is a whole nother podcast episode on
Nobody
schooling.
has fun learning.
This is ridiculous. No. Yeah, it's very important to lower your thresholds during the middle of life and lower your threshold for what brings you joy. You have to learn to find joy in simple things.
Yeah.
If you are difficult to please and it's very hard to make you happy, you are going to be a miserable person.
That's right.
And the Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is easy. It's not a hard joy to find. The joy of the Lord is simple to get to. It's deep. Once you start to dig into the Lord and His Word, it's deep, but it's also very simple. It's not something that's hard to understand. Just lowering your threshold, like allowing little things to please you, that will change your life right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that like I got a $10 bouquet of flowers at Costco and cut them up and the girls loved it. Like we're standing there cutting the stems and I'm teaching them how to make a little arrangement. We didn't have a vase, so we used an extra large pretty mug and like little things like that. Like nothing has to be up to your amazing high standards. People don't have to treat you like a princess. Like lower your threshold. Like if it's just sacking out on the couch at night with your husband or wife or kids and watching an episode of your favorite show together and, that's your relaxing hour for the night. Like, that's good right now. Someday, a trip to the Bahamas will be your joy and you can afford it. And, it's, those days are coming, hopefully,
sure.
for all of us, right?
I hope so.
But right now, like, if taking a walk in your neighborhood and enjoying a beautiful evening doesn't please you, if that's not enough to fill your cup, you're going to have a hard time in the middle.
Yeah.
You really are.
Right.
Because sometimes in the middle, that's all you got time for.
Yeah.
You know, getting your favorite chips and salsa and bringing them home and having, you know, a fun dinner. That's just simple and not a big deal. Let little things please you and let your joy increase because you notice, hey, life is in these small moments.
Right.
Fun and joy and happiness is in these little moments, and there's a lot of stress in between.
Right.
But I can live off the little things and allow it to fill me back up to be ready for the next hard time.
It's good.
For sure.
So we're running out of time. So let's just let's not draw this out. Let's hit couple little bullet points. Maybe you've thought of a couple through this, and I have too, of some things that if we're not careful, we won't be intentional about, and we need to make sure at this stage of life that we're bringing it back in. So I thought of one, and that is continuing to date your spouse. So if we're talking about marriage especially, these are the moments that we just kind of put it in cruise control, and the marriage becomes about everybody else. It becomes all about sports and homework and people and ministry. And you've been married 5, 7, 8, 19 years, and so you're in it. And if we're not careful, I really feel like the spouse can become number 2. And so we just have to remind everybody, don't stop dating your spouse. Make sure you are putting them number 1. This is why we're seeing a lot of people get divorced at 20, 21, 22 years of marriage, because this is the stage they stopped investing in their marriage.
Right.
The kids became number 1. The kids leave the home to go to college. 2 people are staring at each other. Who are you? Who are you? I don't know, but I never loved you. I never loved you. We stayed together for the kids. That's foolish. It's very ridiculous. Make sure at this stage of life you're intentional and putting into your marriage.
Yeah.
Go.
I think definitely physical appearance.
Come on.
And I'm going to keep preaching this. I don't care what people think.
Let me sit up here and suck it in a little bit.
I think how we present ourselves to our families is one of the most important things that we can do with the temple of God. I think being intentional in the home, even in how we look, how we dress, obviously, you know, we don't mind being casual, athleisure, whatever. I'm not saying you have to walk around your house dressed to the nines, but taking care of your physical appearance, I think in marriage is so important. It doesn't mean you have to go get Botox and filler and, you know, cut and dye your hair, like all these things, but whatever speaks to your spouse, whatever they appreciate. I know some people like a beautiful natural look, and I don't like makeup on my wife and all that. Okay, great, good. Then your wife should do what pleases you both, what makes her feel beautiful and what you perceive as beauty. You should own that and you should love it and you should enjoy that together. And the opposite is true too. If you've got somebody that, you know, loves when you go out on a date and you're in a dress and high heels and red lipstick, like enjoy that, have fun with that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's true. So you don't have to impress other people, but you should be impressive to one another. And even like in our home, there's a lot of times we laugh about it because I'll try to get outfits or something that the girls like, and they'll think, "Oh, Mom, that's really cute," and then they'll ask to borrow it. You know, why? I mean, do I care what a 12-year-old thinks? Like, no, I want a connection with them. Right. I want them to, you know, love that part of me and us enjoy that together. And so I think being intentional about your physical appearance in your home is just as important as outside the home as well.
Yeah, it's good. I would say lastly for me would be a lot of men go through somewhat of a midlife crisis about this stage. Might not be called a midlife crisis, but definitely some rethinking through what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? I'm behind on retirement. We spend a lot of money on kids, or there might be some, I've never bought a house, or our house isn't up to date. There's all these, your world comes crashing in really as you enter into your 40s, because they go quick, and then their 50s are there, then you're staring down the barrel of, you know, in 13 years I'm supposed to be retired. And so it comes quick in these stages. And so I would say at this time, make sure that you are communicating with your spouse and or a mentor, and that you are focusing on, God, what do you want me to do? If it is just be at this place, then Lord, help me to be satisfied here. And or if it is to do something else, this is the time really that a lot of guys and women, business women, will make a transition in what they're going to do. And my advice would be that's okay. Like we made a major move in our mid 30s to California in a totally different field of ministry. For 3 years later, to God shut the door and head back into full-time pastorate.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't midlife and I'm searching and I need to know. It was me intentionally praying, God, what do you want me to do?
Right.
And then God moved us.
Right.
So you don't want to be the type of person that moving faster that's just bouncing around. I want to do this. 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 And you're just chasing money and the grass is greener. Eventually, you begin to lose sight of what life is about and what a job is about. And that is support your family, support your home, be able to, live a good life. The American dream, it's here in front of us, but it's at this stage of life, you kind of got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Just seek the Lord, seek some advice, and then land on it.
That's so good.
Do you have a last one?
Good.
You want to end there?
No, let's end there. Okay. I love that. I think that's really good to the men, especially from your point of view. And I think you hit it.
Good, good. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for listening to the Forward Podcast. And make sure you share this episode. Tell somebody about the Forward Podcast if you have not already. And you can find us also on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts. So we appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.